Okay, so I am tired and I just got back from my job, but before I take a shower, which I think that's probably maybe too TMI, but maybe not. I kind of wanted to make a quick video. I still have a few other ones to edit and post, and I haven't had any views on them, but I think it's really important for me to find my voice. This is one thing I wanted to talk about really quickly. Um, but basically, I see everywhere that I actually am talking about this kind of randomly before I talk about what I had kind of wanted to talk about too. But I see that there's the Essence Fest that is all over YouTube videos. I see that it had been kind of, you know, the languages that, like, taken over by Africans. And I just kind of want to say really quickly that that is kind of, not kind of, but that is, that's, I want to say that as somebody with, I think it's important to make our own, you know, to give validity to the fact that I will carry two different identities, to give validity to the fact that both have their own stories and their own origins, particularly in the United States. The things that have become like hallmarks for African American identity, essence specifically being for Black women. And I remember growing up how I would look at this magazine and I would think, I would feel a certain barrier to a certain extent because I would know I couldn't articulate it when I was like 9 or 10, but now I can articulate it because I noticed that it was mainly African American women, ADOS. And I think what I was feeling was that I was not that in that way. It sure, maybe on one side I carried the heritage, but when you don't carry it on both, yeah, you are different. You do have another identity. And I think what I was feeling is that I didn't want to be put inside of a group without being able to express myself within the fullness of what I am because I know that I was different somehow. So I think that one of the things I started thinking about with all the ways that I had benefited from, you know, the infrastructure that had been in place through people who had survived slavery, survived the transatlantic slave trade. Like, I mean, at this point, the people that are in the United States have generationally survived many, many things. And it's very unique to this particular group. And what I want to say is that, as Africans, we deserve to have our own stories too. And I think it's okay to have to build when it's relative to the United States. It's okay to have to build from scratch, or it's okay to have to build it. Because I don't want somebody to come into it wouldn't be okay the other way around. You know, there's a space for fufu. There's spaces for that can live and breathe fully. you know. And also, I looked at the person that had bought Essence magazine, and come to find out, this is a person that has sold Shea Moisture, which is like his grandmother's recipes and whatnot. So, you know, this person is also like an African capitalist, which I still need to learn about the different, you know, I need to learn more about economics and the different economic systems that exist, but in the sense of just being okay selling out a culture for profit, um, this would also be the person to not. Anyway, all I'm saying is that it's just kind of disappointing. It's disappointing in any regard when you kind of see one culture not respect another culture, particularly another black culture respect another black culture, and one that it had basically had the roots in this country, more or less, or not even more or less, just as it is what it is. So I say that to say, I actually wanted to talk about the fact that nobody has recognized my intellect. I'm actually recognizing it now late, but I guess I didn't get to that in this moment. I do need to get ready to go to sleep and continue to put one foot in front of the other with patience. Tina Turner, she is a similar age as me when she reset her life. And she was older, just as I'm older. So I look to her and others, right? I just kind of kind of think I gravitate because of the fact that she does have roots in the South, right? But anyway, on that with that being said too, I have to find the Nigerian stories that fit my story as well. I'm not going to try to match my story to an identity that I'm not fully, if that makes sense. But I can find influence in it because it's part of the story. But it's like Pangea. Speaking of dinosaurs, I read National Geographic. I have maybe 10 pages left, but they are amazing. Amazing. I have to go to the Nature and Science Museum in this city. I have to. Okay, but anyway, let me get going. Alright, thank you for watching, and I'll go ahead and upload this tonight. I'm sure it won't have any type of popularity attached to it, but I just wanted to say that. Alright, thank you. Have a good night. Bye.